Using the product rule for derivatives, we know that the derivative of some product can be represented in this way. The derivative of the first function times the second function plus the first function times the derivative of the second function. We can try to derive a formula or an equation for the quotient rule. So this is the product rule, and from the product rule, we can try to figure out some quotient rule. So let's say we had a quotient like this, a quotient of two functions instead of a product of two functions. So let's say we had some top function and some bottom function, or some numerator function and some denominator function. But I won't use n and d because we're already using a d here. So using t for top and b for bottom, we can rewrite this like this: t of x times 1 over b of x. And of course, we can always write this like this. So 1 over b of x is the same thing as b of x to the negative 1 power. And now from here, we can use the product rule. So the derivative of the first function, so the derivative of t, times this second function, plus the first function, so plus t of x, times the derivative of this, b of x to the negative 1. So of course, this is using the product rule, which is this rule here. So the derivative of the first piece times the second piece, plus the first piece times the derivative of the second piece. Okay, well, what is all of this? Well, the derivative of the top of t of x, we can just represent it like this using different notation. Of course, b of x to the negative 1 is just 1 over b of x. And now, what is the derivative of this? Well, the negative 1 must come in front using the power rule for derivatives, and we should subtract 1. But we also have to use the chain rule, so take the derivative of the inside of the function. So take the derivative of b of x, like this. And then all of this we can simplify. So simplifying everything, we can put this together, and instead of writing t of x and b of x, I'll just write t and b. And then plus turns into a minus because of this negative 1. So negative 1, b of x to the negative 2, you can reciprocate that, just how we did here, reciprocated it, became a first power. Now it's going to become a second power. So t is here. And what is the derivative of b of x? Well, we can just write it as b prime, different notation. So it's the same thing, just different notation. And now we can get a common denominator. So getting a common denominator, multiplying b and b, we're going to get that the derivative of some top function divided by some bottom function, the derivative of a quotient, is just equal to the derivative of the top times the bottom minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all divided by the bottom squared.